Okay, I'm now joined by Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. Alex is coming off a huge win at the weekend at UFC on Fox 10 against Sergio Pettis. Not only did he pick up an impressive victory, he also picked up two of the night bonuses, fight of the night and submission of the night. Alex, congratulations on a fantastic result at the weekend.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a good weekend for me.
I don't think you could have predicted any better, could you? Not only the win, but two bonuses as well.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one hell of a night. Picked up two bonuses. Also got a victory from an undefeated opponent. So it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a tough fight, of course. There's a lot of hype on young Sergio Pettis. I mean, he's the brother of Anthony Pettis, the UFC lightweight champion. He trains with one of the biggest camps that a lot of people are talking about at the minute, of course, Duke Rufus. What were your thoughts going into the fight? With Sergio Pettis.
Well, definitely. One of the biggest thoughts that I had going into the fight was I knew that it was definitely going to be a scrap. So I kind of wanted to make it into a dogfight. I really wanted to keep the pace up, and I wanted to just stay in his face. Even though I was on the, how would you say, business end of the deal there, taking a lot of the damage and strikes and whatnot. I figured if I stay in his face, I just wanted to be that person that was hard to get rid of. So, keep my presence in the middle of the cage, and it was a difficult fight, but I was able to pull it off at the end.
You said there you were on the business end. I think, to be fair, you were both on the business end because it was a real back and forth fight. But going into the last couple of minutes then of that fight, did you feel you were winning or losing the fight?
Well, I would have to say after the second round, I felt it started to even out a little bit. Towards the third round, I definitely felt I was putting the pressure on him a lot more. I guess that's why he felt the notion to try and take me down. So I did feel like in the third round I was bringing it to him. So like that was one other prediction that I was making. I'm like, after I told my coach, I was telling my training partners, I know he's good at stand up, but after a while standing up and training with me, I know I know I'm going to make him to a wrestler, and that's kind of what happened. He tried to take me down on a couple occasions, and it's not necessarily the case that I'm a better striker than he is, but when I do land my shots, I do aim for that button. So I know he didn't want to get hit again like that anymore. So he tried to take me down, I guess, to secure the last round victory by achieving those takedown points. But I was definitely ready for that.
I mean, it's fair to say with you. I mean, you're on a hell of a run in the UFC now, and it's fair to say one thing you've shown is that you're very well rounded. We've seen you stand on the feet, and you've got great technical striking, and with the flashy moves as well, of course. But you've also shown that you're very good on the ground. We've seen you submit off your back. I mean, we've seen you. We have seen you as a well-rounded fighter. So within this fight, did you feel you had an advantage anywhere in particular? Did you think you were better on the feet or better on the ground, or were you just wherever the fight was going to go?
Well, I can't really tell you. We didn't spend too much time on the ground and on the feet. I have to admit, I didn't feel too much as myself. I couldn't really get into my groove. I mean, he really broke up my timing really well, and he was definitely a lot faster than I was. So I couldn't really get into the groove of my stand-up game. But so I came out kind of wild and crazy and whatnot. But if I had any advantage, I just felt like that I just had that staying power. I just kept staying in his face no matter what happened. The only thing that was playing in my head was like, oh, this guy is hitting me with some of his best shots, and I'm still here. I know this must annoy the hell out of him, but I'm still coming at him. And I'm not backing down after taking some big shots like that. So, and it gave me a little bit of confidence. I felt like I was displaying a lot of my resilience and heart out there, and showing everybody that, hey, I can take the beating and still bring it forward. And that's kind of the mentality I had during that fight, and that's kind of what I hope that I showed after that fight as well.
Also, I want to say at the obviously at the end of the fight, of course, when you did take his back and you did sink in the check. I mean, it was right. We're literally in the last 30 seconds of the fight. Were you surprised to find yourself in that position at that stage of the fight?
Well, I was looking for the submission for a while. I was, especially the reverse triangle. I was looking a lot for it when he was going for those takedowns and he had my legs. I was trying to lock up a submission, and I felt there was times that I could have taken his back a few times, but I wasn't really going for it. I was trying to lock up that reverse triangle when we were, how would you say, when I was in the sprawl out position and he had my leg. So instead of flattening him out and trying to take the back, I was looking for another submission, but I wasn't actually surprised I was going to take his back. I felt that I could easily have taken it at any point in time when we hit the ground, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily going for at the moment. I was definitely looking for a nice submission, like a nice fancy submission, like the reverse triangle. But once he went for that takedown, and then he went for the heel hook, I believe. Once he put the heel hook in, my confidence level kind of shot up because I knew he wasn't going to finish the heel hook. I've been in that situation a whole lot with great grapplers such as Taquinho, Benson Henderson, and I'm able to flex my knee outward and sink down to take their back easily, and I do it a whole lot. So I was pretty confident when he put that heel hook in that I was going to take his back. Now the choke, on the other hand, it did surprise me a little bit because once I sunk that hand in, I was surprised that I did not feel his chin trying to block or his hands weren't coming up. But I guess it was due to the fact that he was trying to stand up. But I just felt nothing but neck, and I just knew it was a clean choke. And I'm like, well, let's see if we have enough time to finish it. And it just so happened that I did.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely had time because if he hadn't have tapped it, I mean, like you said, the choke was on quick and he didn't seem to defend it. So if he hadn't have tapped, there's no doubt he would have gone out because there was a good 30 seconds to go, and to hold off for 30 seconds in a choke is near on impossible. When it's that tight anyway, I think it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to do it. Now, after your fight, of course, you've still got the main card. At the time of your fight, it was up to that point the most exciting fight, and you were the only submission. Do you watch the rest of the card and hope there's not too much drama and think maybe I could get 2 bonuses, or were you not even thinking like that at that stage?
Well, I knew that we had fight on the night, definitely. I mean, it was a crazy back and forth fight, and I wasn't seeing anybody beating us at a fight of the night. Now, submission of the night came to a little bit of a surprise, but looking at the fight, looking at the rest of the fights, I saw one other submission. It was a guillotine, I believe, but it wasn't necessarily like anything crazy. So I felt pretty confident that the bonus was coming the second bonus was coming my way, but I wasn't really minding. I was still kind of like happy that I just won the fight and was able to make it out with a finished victory and not letting it go to the judges. So the bonus is, I waited for a press conference to really hear about that, but I kind of knew that it was coming my way, though.
Is it the first time you've won? I'm assuming it's the first time you've won 2 bonuses in the same night.
Oh yeah, it's the first time ever.
Have you had to think about what you want to spend your money on?
Well, I've been thinking about it. I already have my mind set about it. Where I was going to spend my win bonus, where I was going to spend any type of money that I won from this fight on, and it's definitely on. I'm trying to invest it in some land to start. I guess what some people call homesteading. Just trying to make invest in some property so that I can make a place that's very self-sufficient. Kind of trying to get away from the materialistic views of modern day society and just get back to, how would you say, I guess get back to nature in a way.
Well, I mean, good luck. You've certainly earned the right to, whatever you decide to spend that money on, you've certainly earned the right. Now, looking at your record, of course, if you take out of consideration the no contest, which was obviously a fight that you had won originally, you're on the equivalent of a 5-fight win streak. So where do you see yourself in the division, and have you got any idea on who you'd like to face next?
Well, I'm not sure. I really don't look at that kind of stuff too much, but whatever the UFC has next lined up for them, I'm willing to take it. It doesn't really necessarily concern me. I'm not here to win titles or anything. I'm just here to do what I love to do. You know, I love martial arts, and I just want to get out there and be in the cage and be able to fight some of the best people in the world. You know, it's a proving factor to me that that what I'm doing is not only exceptional but practical and useful in my real day in everyday life. You know, I can say that I can actually do this, and there's no, how would you say, fallacies behind it. There's no facade behind it either. It's real, as real as it gets.
Now I know you just said just before we started chatting that you were hurting a little bit from the fight because it was a very much a back and forth fight. Have you got any serious injuries or is it just knocks? And when would you like to get back in and compete again?
As soon as possible. You know, I'm not necessarily injured at all. I just got bruisings on my legs from the kicks, and a little bit of bruising on my face. Pretty much it. You know, just bruises, minor bruises and stuff like that. Aches on your body from fighting, but like that happens in every fight. You know, everybody's gonna have those aches, especially when the adrenaline starts to leave your body and whatnot, and just soreness from muscles. But other than that, I'd say in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be ready to go again.
Well, obviously, it's been a real pleasure having the opportunity to speak with you today. So I really, I appreciate you giving me your time, and once again, congratulations on a fantastic win at the weekend.
Oh, thank you very much. It was nice to be on your show.
And before we let you go, I'd like to give you a chance to do some shout outs. You want to shout out any friends, family, sponsors, and let the listeners know about your Facebook and Twitter as well.
Oh, definitely. Want to give a shout out to my coach Manolo Lopez, ATT Kendall, down in Florida, in Miami, Florida. All my training partners down there, they definitely help me. I appreciate the support and the love that they give me all the time. Want to give a shout out to all the people over there in the MMA lab in Arizona. John Crouch, Benson Anderson, all my training partners out there too. They brought it to me, gave me tough matches up there in sparring and training and whatnot. Like to thank Jared especially, our strength and conditioning coach. Without him, I would have been gassed out in the first round. The guy's incredible. So I mean, and last but definitely not least, family, friends, all the fans that are there watching, because they're the people that make us. And without them, we'll definitely be nothing. We'll be fighting for free out on the streets for no money whatsoever, no glory, no fame, nothing. So I'd like to thank the fans out there for watching, even the ones that don't like me. Thank you for coming out.
And just let people know about your Facebook and Twitter as well.
They can find me on. I'm not too much into Facebook. I'm sorry about that one. It became too hectic for me. But if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Bruce Leroy Glow, as well as on Instagram. I'm on there quite often. I don't remember my Instagram handle, so I guess you're going to have to look me up by my real name, Alex Caceres. So, or Bruce Leroy. I guess it works both ways. But whatever. I mean, if you got to get a hold of me, you know where to find me.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you get back in the octagon again in the near future.
Oh, thank you very much.